What up, gamers? Spencer here, and welcome back to Girls Frontline 2 Exilium. So, we're back here where she gets a call from Cocoon. Are you there yet? I'll reach there in another hour and a half. Good. I want to confirm something with you. The URNC reinforcements will arrive in around a day's time. Will you make it in time? At the moment, yes. However, I need to activate the Jahodna Mine's catalyzers. As for the other catalyzers, that will depend on the outcome of this operation. That's fine. The sword is in your hands, Blue Spear. How to swing is up to you. However, Cocoon pauses for a moment, and her voice grows cold. If a gladiator does not win, she will incur the wrath of her sponsors. Also, don't forget that we've received explicit instructions. The evidence must be recovered for the mission to be considered complete. Just eliminating the personnel is nowhere near enough. Understood. In that case, all the best in your mission, Blue Spear. I look forward to your triumphant return. Okay. Oh, that was it? That was really fast. Okay. Let's go for this battle over here. Yeah, that was a really short scene. That was just like one. I guess, you know, one scene. Just talking with that one guy and then Cocoon. Dmitry and 404 return to the mine entrance, where he shares what he's found with the other men. After hearing what happened to the deceased and about Monkey Security's arrangement with Paratus, just about everyone present is filled with anger. We can't die here. Yup, right now. All of us have critical information. This information was won by the sweat and toil of our brothers, and they gave their lives to bring it to us. So we have to make sure we carry their voices out of this, gosh, forsaken place. Dude, this music, man, it feels really inspirational, like a Call of Duty campaign. It's like we're all about to do something, but we might die doing so. But we do it for honor, for glory, for justice, or whatever, I don't know. And the people who killed him, who are harming this world even now, must be punished for what they've done. Dang straight, we'll show them. That's right, just give the word, Sarge. What will we do now? Listen up, our upcoming operation is codenamed Smoke Signal. After this, we'll be breaking up into groups, then scattering. I've sent the details to your terminals. Proceed along the indicated routes. If just one of us gets out of here and finds a usable base station, we win. Don't worry about the people behind you. The path ahead will be much harder. Yes, Sergeant. I am proud to have served with men like you. Remember, everyone, achieve your mission with all your might. Despair not till your last breath. Don't let go of your lives or your beliefs. Yes, Sergeant. The men are fired up by Dmitry's speech and eagerly begin gearing up. Meanwhile, Dmitry heads over to 404. For once, he doesn't look annoyed or disdainful. Instead, he hands the box containing the chip and the recorder to Klukai. Take care of this, 404. I'll arrange for my best guys to go with you. Wow. And Dmitry really is, like, in the zone. Like, he really wants everyone, including 404, to do their best. You want us to hold on to this? Yeah. Right now, the survey corps is low on men and ammo. We won't be able to take those monkey dudes in a straight fight. We'll need to find some way to ambush or surprise them. That's why I think giving the chip and recorder to you is the best course of action. Kukai hesitates for a moment, then accepts the box. Understood. This place is heavily radiated, and a collapse storm could occur at any time. Plus, those efforts are bound to launch an attack. So if, and I'm saying if, Dmitry lowers his voice. If the guys with you get hurt or killed, or if they stay behind to cover your escape, don't worry much about them. Yeah, get the chip out of here. That's your top priority. You mean you're not coming with us? You're not going with us, Mr. Dmitry? Me? Heck no. I got to lead my boys to victory, right? I mean, there's no point in the boss being on the battlefield if he doesn't do crap. But you have no chance of winning. Klukai, you didn't have to be so... Dmitry doesn't flare up like usual upon hearing Klukai's flat denial. Instead, he laughs. Like you said, you tin cans don't know crap. You think humans are dumb butts that only listen to what they want to hear? What do you mean? All of us here, down to the Salagus? I don't know what that is. Who just enlisted. We all know the odds of making it out alive are slim. Heck, even if the reinforcements from the Survey Corps show up right now, we won't be able to contact them to get help either. I'm pretty dang sure those monkey dudes are jamming our signals, and nobody knows how many of our boys who went out to set up base stations are still alive either. So yeah, rather than hope we find a base station or that we can make it out into the open to contact the brass, I'd rather place my bets on your team while we do our best to ease the pressure. If you make it out, it'll be worth it. If you survive, that's the cherry on top. Remember, if you get that chip out, we win. But you're really going to die, you know? It's not like with the dolls. Crap, you think we don't want to live? But you know what? When the time comes, we'll make our debts count. None of us is going to back down from that. The important thing is that when we die, it won't be a joke. Those efforts will share over tea and biscuits. Now what the heck are you grinding your gears about? I guess tin cans will be tin cans after all. Not like it do you any good to understand it anyway. Just follow your orders and get the chip out. Don't worry about what happens to us. Got it. After seeing Klukai put the box away, Dmitry nods in satisfaction and heads back to his men. Listen up. We move out in an hour and a half. In a half an hour. Failure is not an option for this mission. Got that? Yes, Sergeant. Oh, what the heck? I was like really into this scene, man, like with the music and stuff, like dude, Dmitry is, yeah, he's like really cool. As the soldiers shout their assent, a deafening alarm fills the air, and every man's collapse radiation detector glows with an ominous red light. Radiation levels rising rapidly. What the F is it now? Everyone, check the seals on your suits. Given the moment of the collapse particles, over 90% of them are coming from inside the mine. Dmitry, you need to get out of here now. Yeah. Now hear this. Operation Smoke Signal begins now. All groups, move as planned. Keep regional comms clear. Once you leave the comms range, group leaders are in charge. Yes, Sergeant. 404, as the core team, you leave within 10 minutes. Make sure you keep the chip safe, 404. Of course we will. However, just as everyone finishes their gear checks and prepares to leave, shadows in the night pour in and surround them. Their twisted bodies and savage maws are made of even more fearsome by the encirclement. Where did all these elites come from? They were probably drawn here by the high levels of collapse radiation. Dmitry, take your men and pull back so you can support us. 404, prepare for battle and get ready to intercept these elites. Here we go. Yeah, dude, man, Dmitry is really different here. Like, ever since that whole, like, the ending of that Bujum battle. No, he's like super, like, serious and more. I guess now he's more respectable to the dolls now. Like, what a change in character. Put some turrets here. I'll put it in the middle. Deploy. Then yeah, I'll just let auto battle. There we go. Yeah. You gotta say, man, Dmitry is so different. I like how he's just, you know, with this whole mission and the music. I don't know why the music really gets me. It's like you feel like, you know, something like heroic is gonna happen. Oh dang, dude, the Kukai here. Jeez, she's going hard. Oh, the final one is all the way there. Okay. Go finish it off, Ulrid. There we go. Nice. 404 and the Soviet Corps put up valiant resistance, but in the end, they are forced to beat a fighting retreat into the depths of the mine. Thanks to 404's supporting fire, the elites in the mine tunnels are temporarily cleared away, but they can still hear the howling of elite hordes some distance away. They take advantage of this brief respite to rest and reload. Is this an elite factory or something? The spawn rate is way too high. They just keep coming, big and small, in one continuous wave. My guess is the nearby elites were all drawn in. We may have cleared out the ones around here, but judging by their audio signatures, there are many elites near the mine entrance, so we can't escape that way. But if we continue staying here, we'll have to contend with the rising radiation levels inside the mine tunnels. What's the collapsed particle situation like? The spread rate is influenced by the wind, and it's continuing at its original rate. The strange thing is, the radiation intensity isn't dropping with spread distance, which means total amount of radiation is increasing. Increasing? No way. Are the collapsed particles generating themselves or something? Leader Kukai. Endress does not use her vocalizer module for this. Instead, she requests communication with Kukai on level 2. She looks worriedly at the nearby soldiers from the Survey Corps. They've lost even more people during the fighting just now. After realizing what Endress has in mind, Kukai switches to level 2 comms as well. What's wrong? Their protective suits have been compromised during the fighting just now, and we don't have enough material to patch or replace any breaches in the seals. If the radiation intensity keeps going up, they might have a hard time going on. Got it. How much till the radiation intensity reaches critical values? If the curves for spread rate and intensity uptake remain constant, about 2 hours. Take the 2 of them and keep watch nearby. Get as much information on the surrounding conditions as possible, and thin out the number of elites nearby. Will do. After ending the transmission, Kukai heads over to the Survey Corps troopers. Most of them are hurt. Their blood and mud from their journey have mixed and dulled to the dark brown which stains their ragged protective suits. Dmitry, who stands at their head, has just finished encouraging his men. He is sitting against a rock, and the soldiers he spoke to earlier are gone. Dmitry, you... Everyone who's alive is fine. Everyone who's dead won't have any more problems. The radiation levels are rising. We can't stay here for long. I know that. Give my Bratva some time to catch their breath. He pauses, and then his gaze settles on radiation sensor Kukai's holding. Actually, let me guess what that means. I'm gonna guess that means brothers in like Russian. I'm actually kind of curious. Yep, it's a Russian word for brotherhood or fellowship. Okay, that was close. How much time do we have left? 2 hours. Right, 2 hours. Dmitry falls silent. He looks at his men sitting in a group, and he seems to be thinking about something. Perhaps he's running low on stamina, but his clenched fist is trembling slightly. However, he's doing his best to keep his face calm and steady. Wee. Boom. Suddenly, there's a violent shaking. Salt particles from the rock will scatter like powdery snow. Dmitry stops talking and springs to his feet, where he's leaning against the tunnel wall. Was that an earthquake? Not far away, Andorus, who has been assigned to sentry duty, runs back while trying to keep her balance. Leader Kukai, there was an explosion. An explosion? What happened? I'm not sure for the exact reason, but part of the pipes on the wall, the ones built to supply the sanatorium with natural gas, appear to have ruptured. It is very likely that the pipes in other areas contain compressed gas that wasn't cleared. The elites broke the pipes, causing the gas leak, which led to an explosion. Gas leak. A single explosion couldn't have created an impact like that. True. Perhaps there were multiple explosions at once. We'll need to investigate the blast site to learn the exact reason. It never rains, but dang well pours, doesn't it? Enderis approaches the two of them and glances at her sensor. Well, it's not entirely bad, Mr. Dmitry. Do you even know the situation right now? I'm not in the mood for jokes. This is no jokes. Enderis projects the data from the sensor. The wind speed within the tunnels has slowed down, possibly because the explosions triggered a collapse inside them. As a result, the collapse particles' rates of spread has slowed considerably. This way, we'll have more time to clear the elites before we leave. Of course, we'll need to think of a way to patch up your suits first. The truth is, I was just thinking, the sanatorium inside the Jehodna salt mines must have been flourishing ones. In addition, Paratus Unites were active in this region. Perhaps there were some supplies left behind? Dmitry realizes he was wrong about Enderis and licks his lower lip awkwardly before clearing his throat. You're right. What I meant to say was, you dolls are always able to analyze things so clearly regardless of the current situation. Look at that, a compliment, like a direct compliment, not like a backhanded compliment or anything like that. Well, that's because we're machines that can only run on algorithms after all. Dmitry sighs in relief after hearing the good news. He scratches his head in embarrassment and his spirits seem to have lifted a little. Man, look at Dmitry, man. So different. So next up, we should go investigate what's going on in the tunnels and come up with the next step of the plan while looking for usable supplies. That's right. However, the radiation levels in the tunnel are still very high, and certain regions might exceed your suit tolerances. In contrast, while we dolls do face a certain degree of risk from high radiation levels, we can still move freely until the radiation intensity reaches 10,000 vibrions. Kokai doesn't directly state her desired conclusion, but Dmitry looks away and lowers his voice. We'll stay here. You handle the scouting. The elid in the tunnels haven't been cleared yet. Shall I station a doll to help out? Nah, it's only our suits which are damaged. Besides, we've got our guns and our bayonets. We can hold out for a bit. Alright. Enderis, contact Belka and Dmitry. Get them to gather up. We'll be exploring the tunnels. Roger. Yeah, dude, Dmitry is like such a sport now. I like that. Like, he's more friendly and more respecting to the dolls. I do like that development. I do like that character development. 4 leaves. Dmitry rubs his forehead and glances over at his surviving men, who are huddled together and discussing something quietly. There is barely concealed worry and fear in their eyes. Chins up, lads. Would be a disgrace if we humans gave up before the dolls, yeah? We need to live for our sake, of our fallen Radva. Their families are waiting for news, and we need to take care of them too. Sarge, actually we... Hey, hold on a minute. Look, guys, a signal. It's a signal. The trooper holding his terminal is so delighted that his voice is trembling, and he's on the verge of tears. He eagerly points to the monitor on his communicator. I was just thinking, maybe we could go check? The guys who went to set up the base station might still be alive, so... We're safe. We're safe, aren't we? The troopers seem to have been driven nearly mad by the possibility of survival. They all crowd around, seemingly forgetting that they have terminals of their own. No, that's not right. The signal isn't our line, is it? Who the F cares? If there's a signal, it means we can contact the outside world. Didn't the Sarge say that backup would be arriving soon? Once we meet up with them, we won't need to fear Monkey or Paratus or whatever. Yeah, it seems like way too good to be true. I'm just wondering if like Blue Spear is messing with them to like, you know, give them false hope. And that might... Yeah, calm down. This might be an enemy trap, that's what I thought too. Will be revealed if you respond and establish a two-way communication link. But we can't just give up like that, right? I haven't seen my boy in half a year, Sarge. Just as Dmitry is torn between what to do next, the terminal which received the signal picks up an unfamiliar comms request. 5 seconds pass, but the request to pick up is still going. The monotonous dial tone echoes in the cavern, while the communication terminal's notification light keeps flashing. After thinking for a moment, Dmitry presses a few buttons on the terminal and silently shares the transmission with 404 through the regional comms frequency. After that, he hits the accept button. Alright, here we go, man. Is it true? Or is it Blue Spear? The communication link is successfully established, and an inorganic voice speaks over the line. Oh, it is Blue Spear. Greetings, First Sergeant Dmitry. Who's this? Dmitry hears a beep, indicating that the transmission has been successfully shared with 404. I am the doll in command of the Mangi Security Detachment. You may address me as Blue Spear. Dmitry's face twists into savagery as he hears the other person identify herself. He takes a deep breath, trying to speak as calmly as possible. What the heck do you want? I would like to request your surrender. I don't know what that is. Probably some cursing. I believe you should calm yourself, First Sergeant Dmitry. Arguing will only waste time, which is something you do not have. In addition, Blue Spear pauses for a moment. Oh, are they gonna make a deal where, like, we'll ensure your survival, but you gotta take down those dolls of 404? The network you are currently using is under my control. Your communications are severely restricted and only effective within a limited range. I have just detected an attempt to jam this transmission and intercepted an attempt from 404 to call for help. I trust this will be the last time you attempt such actions. Isn't that right, First Sergeant Dmitry, who has shared this call with 404 and the doll imprinted to the 416 firearm who attempted to call for help? Unless, of course, you want the radiation levels to rise more quickly. So, all that was your doing. I had hoped to deal with you in a more simple manner. That was merely because I had no other choice. In truth, the actions you took have exceeded my expectations and caused no small amounts of disruption to the progress of my mission. Therefore, I was hoping we could make things easier for all of us. Easier? Who the F do you think you're kidding? You better hide and pray I don't find your worthless butt. A head-on encounter is the worst-case scenario, which your side needs to avoid at all costs. If things come to that, I am absolutely certain I can eliminate all of you. The entrances to the mines have also been demolished. You have nowhere to run. You blew them up? Given the circumstances, that would only serve to waste ammunition and supplies. Like I said, I would like the situation to be resolved quickly and expediently. Yet, you are constantly creating new complications for me. I dislike the unexpected, and so do my employers. Get to the effing point and stop sticking to the sound of your own voice. I believe I have made my objective very clear. I will repeat myself. I would like you to surrender. The tracer we planted on the boot gem has been destroyed. Since you're still alive, I take it you have already killed it? Still, that is not important. I want what you have. If you hand over the chip and the recording device, you may state your terms. F off and dream of electric sheep. I've got the evidence of your crimes right here. Like heck, I'm going to hand it over to you. Dmitry, former warrant officer of the NSU Armed Forces. In 2064, when General Carter's NSU hardliners lost power, as a member of those hardliners, you were transferred to the Southwestern Military District. In 2067, you were transferred to Purification Zone W_2067_0341 as part of the 775th Railway Defense Forces. In 2068, you were demoted to First Sergeant for retaining confiscated property without permission. What are you getting at? I have briefly summarized your background. You are much more intelligent. You are much more a much more intelligent man than, in contrast to your comrade Nikolai. If you agree to my request, I can spare you, and I can guarantee the survival of your men. While your communications and personal freedom will be curtailed to some extent, it is preferable to death. Humans only have one life. I hope you will cherish yours. The hand Dmitry is holding with the terminal trembles. Please give me your answer within 10 minutes. The same applies to Hide 404. Death is not a concern for us. Your terms are invalid. We are willing to compensate you handsomely if you will amend the terms of your commission. To my knowledge, While you are unregistered dolls affiliated with the NOMFA, you are fundamentally mercenaries who work for money. My employer can match your client's voice, provided you surrender to us and accept the deletion of your neural cloud logs corresponding to this time period. Please give me a concrete answer. A reply in the affirmative will constitute acceptance of cooperation. Even though you are only second-generation dolls, you are still dolls, and as such, you should not be swayed by your emotions. I hope you will make an accurate assessment of the facts and make the logical choice. Your intelligence is not accurate. What? Rules and regulations for Hide 44 members commissions. Article 1. Unless the communication is cancelled or the client violates the terms of the commission, no mission in progress may be aborted under any circumstances. Rules are made to be followed. Nobody can break them. This includes me, as squad leader. And besides, Kukai pauses for a moment. Her tone becomes more forceful. As an elite doll, I am sick and tired of listening to a tin can like you, who only knows how to follow orders. Dang, dude. Took a page out of Dmitry. Blue Spear clearly did not expect a response from Kukai because the channel goes silent. Good. Dang, dude. Hey, I like just the friendliness now, man. We're all good with Dmitry. You know, we're going back and forth. Gosh darn, this is the first time I've actually been happy to hear something from a doll. Now then, dude balls, or whatever F your name is, listen up. You're right, we only have one life, but how we live it, and where we live it, is up to us. So if you want my life, you can come and take it, but here's the thing, you can't do that right now, can you? I have the fullest confidence of doing so. If you do, then why blow the mine entrances? Wouldn't sending your bully boys to take us out be easier? The way I see it, there are only a couple of reasons why you do things that way. 1. You don't actually have that much in the way of firepower, and you don't have that much control over the collapse particles, which means everything you said was just a bluff. 2. You're stalling for time because you're too far from our little cave, and perhaps you're waiting for the right moment or something. And as I recall, those Mangi mutts of yours didn't have any tin cans with them when we fought them earlier. And you want to bluff on an empty hand with me? Yeah, I was hustling with you when you were still effing screw in the toolbox. What a shame, First Sergeant Dmitry. I was under the impression that you were an intelligent man. Still, I looked forward to meeting you later. The transmission ends and the signal cuts off shortly after. In her vehicle, Blue Spear checks the call duration. Have you found them? Yes, I've got their rough location locked down. Reallocate your men and focus your firepower. Do not move your sentries from each mine entrance. This includes the ones which have already been blasted out. The particles within the collapse crystals inside the tunnel complex have already been fully released, since the radiation intensity won't go up too much anytime soon. Don't you think they'll try to reposition if they get the chance? The remaining supplies will not allow them to attempt large movements. The elites remaining in the tunnels will constitute a major threat to them. I will arrive in about 1 hour. Do not make any mistakes until then. Understood. There we go, that was it for that. Now look at that. Almost there to the end. Let's keep on going, man. We got a battle here coming up. Yeah, we'll see how we escape from this little cave situation that we are in. 4-4 heads over to the entrance they used to enter the mine. As expected, it's been blasted shut. Big sis! I tried clearing the rocks away, but there are too many of them and they're too big. I don't think we can get rid of them. Andorus, can you use your big gun to clear us a path? Andorus doesn't respond eagerly to Kukai like she usually does. However, she doesn't seem to have blue screen either. Clearly, she's distracted by something. Andorus. Is something the matter, Leader Kukai? Did you notice something? If you're having trouble processing it, you can transfer the information in your progress to me. No, I just... I feel a little uneasy. It's about the transmission just now, as well as the condition of the Survey Corps troopers. They'll be fine for now. As for Blue Spear, she just said that she'd much rather take the chip and record her directly, so we need to investigate our surroundings and replenish our supplies and come up with a plan to hold her off and counterattack. We don't know how strong she is, but 404 needs to be ready to fight her. No, I mean, I'm worried about the effect Blue Spear's words might have on the troopers. Effect? Are you talking about Blue Spear's terms? Dmitry and I have already rejected them. We will not be cooperating with them under any circumstances. I understand, but leader, I've met a lot of humans in the green zone and humans aren't like us. I believe in Mr. Dmitry, and I believe that the troopers have wept and bled for their fallen friends, but everyone has their weak sides, and if they feel uneasy about this, it might spread. I don't know what Blue Spear's aim is, but for the troopers, the terms she stated while trying to negotiate with us must have felt like a lifeline thrown out to a drowning man in a storm. You've got a point. They were always trying to take the easy way out before this, and now that an alternative's shown itself, a single person giving into his weakness might lead to everyone turning traitors. We should be careful, Mixes Lukai. We will truly be finished if they pretend to be putting up a fight while they're secretly working with Blue Spear. Michti picks this moment to yawn, to the point of tears beating up at the corners of her eyes, and then she reaches up to rub them clean. How can you even be sleepy at a time like this? But I'm tired. This mission is so tiring. Don't worry about that for now. We have the chip and the recorder, so no matter what the Survey Corps decides to do, it won't affect our current mission. Kukai looks around. Belka, set up an alarm here in case Mangi tries to assault through here. Don't use a network alarm. The moment it picks up motion, we have it make as much noise as possible. We'll keep exploring the area. Considering what Blue Spear said just now, they're going to move in soon. All we can do until then is learn as much about the tunnels as we can. 404 searches around the location of the mine sanatorium while keeping track of the time and their distance from the Survey Corps. They check in with them at regular intervals to share what they have learned. We've been searching for almost 2 hours, right? There's pretty much nothing here. I figured they went around clearing out all the assets in the sanatorium when they went bankrupt, so everything useful and valuable was probably taken away long ago. Looks like all that effort was for nothing. It was entirely fruitless. Andorus pats a pipe beside her. These pipes still have some natural gas in them. It sells for a lot in the white zones. What is it even used for anyway? Are we going to have the Survey Corps guys take a hot bath? And besides, according to our sensors, there's only a little left inside. The main storage tanks have already been emptied out, so if we try to sell this data to white zone gas companies, they'll probably turn their noses up at us. But we're actually really lucky, aren't we? Natural gas is explosive, right? And since these pipes are so old, they should be pretty leaky too, right? But they're all fine, even after we fought that Bujim and those elites and all. Honestly, these humans are such morons. Everything was running fine, but they didn't even bother to check the pipes before they left. Now there's all that dangerous gas in there. You just had a sniff to tell that there aren't any leaks. That's not necessarily true. Natural gas only has a smell when an odorant is added to it. It's colorless and odorless and of itself. Nowadays, they don't use natural gas in yellow zones, so most people in dolls don't have anything to detect it with. That makes it fairly dangerous. Still, you don't have to worry. Natural gas only becomes explosive once it reaches a certain concentration. Considering the size of this place and the amount of stored gas, there is pretty much no chance of an explosion. Huh? Really? Andorus, we should call you Andorus PD or something. Oh yeah, maybe the Great Library of Andorus, like in those Isekai series. Green Zone satellite cities make heavy use of natural gas, so the handbooks for cafeteria employees have detailed rules and regulations for working with gas. That's how I knew. Right, that's enough talk about trivia. That's irrelevant to the mission. Everyone, stay alert and carry on. Upon reaching a fork in the road, Andreas suddenly comes to a halt. Hang on, leader. I found something. What is it? I've been monitoring collapse radiation intensity all this time, and the radiation and the levels in this area are lower than in other places. Could it be that the collapse particles haven't spread here yet? Andreas, run a simulation on collapse particle spread rates with wind speed factor in at 5-minute intervals. Will do, leader. Leader, I have the results. Particle density here is fairly low while their velocity is quite high, and they're all moving in a similar direction. Found it at last. Huh? What did you find? An exit. If the particles are moving fast, there must be wind, and since wind doesn't occur naturally in a mine, there must be some opening to the outside nearby that's letting it in. Wow, I see. Meh, you must have learned it from an anime or something. I'll go find the exit now. Just wait for the good news, Big Sis Klukai. With that, Belka runs off into the passage on the left. We didn't even tell her which way the wind was coming from. Don't worry, Belka just happens to be going the right way. The words "listen to instructions" have never managed to take root in that head of hers. Klukai shakes her head and continues into the left-hand passage. Andreas, you head back to the previous fork and relay what we learned to the Survey Corps. Then meet up with us when you're done. Michti, pick up the pace. We need to catch up to Belka. There are quite a lot of elites here. It'll be dangerous for her if she's alone. Okay. Going to battle. Yeah, we might have found a way out. Alright, let's go in. Deploy support. We'll do that. And that. Combat start. You know, in a way, I kind of wish when it comes to these story missions that, like, if we're like at the max level here, they would add an option where they would kind of scale the enemy levels to our level. Because yeah, it just, you know, sometimes for us, I guess the end game players here, when we have like level 60 units and stuff, like this is pretty much like the gameplay here, where we just like I don't know if you would want to even manually play if like everyone's gonna go down in like one shot. I know that's probably what the challenges are for and all that. But I feel like for the story experience, it just trivializes like the gameplay, and it makes it, you know, not worth spending a lot of time just like playing it manually. Belka runs so fast, she's gone in the blink of an eye. It's so dark inside. She's got some guts. Stop talking nonsense and keep up. I mean, in a way, it's not bad. It does make things faster, I guess, for us in this Let's Play. But, you know, I do prefer to play a game over, you know, just reading a story. Thanks for saving me, Big Sis. There are so many elites here that I thought I'd never see you again. If you run off by yourself again, you can save yourself. But I just wanted to help you, Big Sis. What? It's my fault now? The situation now is dangerous. Any mistakes could be fatal for all of us. Yeah, I won't do it again. I'm sorry, Big Sis. Forgive me, please. After seeing that Belka seems sufficiently contrite, Klukai decides to drop the subject. A short distance away, Andreas is running toward the group after passing on her findings to the Survey Corps. Andreas, any changes in the wind speed? Yes, I've been monitoring the wind speed data. The further in we go, the higher it gets, so I'm confident that we'll find the exit soon. Good, keep going. At last, 404 reaches the end of the mine tunnel. Yeah, what the heck is this? No way. The tunnel entrance before them has almost been blocked off by rocks, but a wooden beam has fallen to deflect the fallen stones in such a way that there's an irregular hole roughly 30 centimeters wide on the lower left of the entrance. There is no lights coming through the hole, Probably because it's quite a distance to the outside, but they can hear the cold night wind of the yellow zone blowing it through. Well, there's no way anyone's getting through that. Not even a midget like Dmitry could do it. Andres, scan the thickness of the surrounding rocks, assess the loading of the surrounding rocks and support beams, and see if your big gun can punch through them. Understood. Andres performs some quick measurements. Leader, I estimate I should be able to enlarge the hole to around 50 centimeters or 1 meter wide. That'll do. Also, given the crystallization on the surrounding rocks, this collapse was not caused by the demolition just now, but by something that took place a long time ago. I see. Kukai looks down and thinks. That means there's a high chance that this place is a blind spot for Monkey Security's defense layout. If we can make this breach 1 meter wide, it'll allow us and the Survey Corps to escape through it. This probably isn't the right time for this, but my backup battery has only enough charge to just barely start up that big gun. It's definitely not enough for an attack, not even one. I think it gulps way too much power. Like, it's eaten up almost half my charge on this mission so far. It must have been hard on you, Michty. Well, I'm not exactly complaining about it, but I do need to get the air to improve its efficiency a little. You'll need to meet him first in order to do that. Andres, head back to the fork and update them. Everyone else stand by. Oh, that was it for the mission? Alright. Making good progress. We'll keep on going, man. I want to make sure I can maybe finish this whole thing off maybe in the next video. I'll try to do my best to go with haste. It's still a lot though. It actually might take me maybe like after this video, maybe 1.5 more videos maybe. After contacting the Survey Corps, Andres tells Dmitry about the hole they found and 404's lack of power. Following Dmitry's orders, 404 returns to the mine tunnel where the Survey Corps are. Huh? Are we giving up on that hole? We've checked out all the other tunnels. It might be our only way out. But we don't have enough power to widen it. Even without the big gun, we can probably dig it out by hand, right? It beats just giving up and waiting for death, right? We don't have the luxury of doing that. Monkey Security and Blue Spear might attack at any time. Based on her transmission, we don't have much longer left. In addition, we don't have any tools we can use, and digging by hand isn't a realistic option either. I mean, I would say that you're in a mine. I'm sure there's probably some shovels maybe around here. I'm sure you can find some equipment to help dig out. But wouldn't it be better to have someone watch over it? What if Monkey Security sent someone through it? We've installed proximity sensors on every tunnel entrance we could find, so we don't have to post sentries. Rather than waste time and effort on that hole, we should meet up with the Survey Corps and come up with another plan. Leader Klukai, I'm still worried about the stuff we discussed earlier. I know Mr. Dmitry asked us to take the chip and recorder while they stayed behind to cover our retreat, and you and Mr. Dmitry basically came to the same conclusion just now. But I can tell that he's still hiding something. I'll keep an eye on the chip and recorder. The rest of you should stay alert. If they do turn on us, fall back to the regions with higher particle density. Their suits are damaged and they're probably low on ammo. There's no way 404 could lose to people like that. The other three dolls nod. Now keep quiet. We're almost there. 404 returns to the tunnel where the Survey Corps is waiting, and they discover the troopers sitting around a patch of empty ground, quietly discussing something. Larian, you see this position? After this, take your guys and break through. Ignore everything else. I'll do my best to keep the fighting focus in the other direction. You think it'll work? Depends on our luck. All we can do now is take a chance. I hope things don't get bad enough that we actually have to do it. Got it. Once we're done, we'll head back ASAP to support you. Yeah. After handing out assignments, Dmitry looks up to see 404 and signals them to come over. What are you doing? Klukai studies the patch of empty ground. It is covered with salt from the tunnels. There's a simple map and various symbols drawn on it. The upper left part of the map has been circled for emphasis. It's not something you tin cans would understand. This is a defense plan. We used the environmental data you sent back to make a rough sketch of the surrounding terrain. This way, we can set up ambushes around the areas with lower radiation density and ambush those monkey security guys. We were just sitting on our butts while you guys were out. Dmitry taps the circle part of the map and writes an F there. The Kukai looks at the map. Wait, are you going to fight monkey security head-on? Dang straight. We're going to teach them a lesson. Our remaining supplies cannot support an assault like this. We'll be going up against monkey security and Blue Spear, whose fighting power is an unknown. This plan is foolish, and I do not approve of it. Wasn't asking for your approval. We weren't expecting for the four to fight anyway. During this time, head back to that hole you found and escape through there. You dolls have neural cloud cores or something, right? That ought to count as evidence too, right? So be careful on the way out. You can lose as many arms and legs as you want, but don't damage those brains of yours. You don't have the firepower to widen that hole. Even if you can hold off monkey to buy us time to retreat, it's still unworkable. After hearing Kukai's answer, the Survey Corps troopers laugh. The Sarge was right. He even managed to get her response down perfectly. I told you, right? She's a total stick in the mud. There's no way she could have come up with a plan like that. You see now? Don't rely too much on a machine's processing. In the end, the human brain is more useful. Good thing I didn't bet on that with you, Sarge. Otherwise, I'd have lost that last crate of vodka under my bed when we get back. Hey, what are these guys talking about? Are they making fun of us? Making fun of Big Sis? I guess they are, although she is kind of a stick in the mud. Andres, stay back. I'm sure Big Sis will get mad if they keep making fun of her for another minute. No, another 30 seconds. But fighting is bad. As they see Kukai's face turn more and more grim, the Survey Corps troopers manage to settle themselves down in time. Had enough fun? Would you mind telling me about the rest of your plans now? You can't widen the hole because you don't have enough power, right? If you don't have it, then just find it. The power supply to the sanatorium has just been cut off. There's still some natural gas in the gas lines, but we haven't found a matching transformer for them, which means we can't make use of them. How was that a problem? You need power? You've got it in spades. Saying so, Dmitry points to the military backpacks off to the side. Are those batteries? Yep, of all kinds, and they all have universal interfaces. Take everything you can use. But where did you get all these batteries from? Mr. Dmitry, did you? As she thinks of what the answer might be, Andres quickly glances at the protective suits that the soldiers were wearing. Oh wow. Just as she suspected, most of the indicator lights on their suits have gone gray. Only a few people, including Dmitry, have lights that are still on. Mr. Dmitry, unable to compute what the troopers might be thinking, Andres' neural cloud crashes. What the heck? You're probably making some pointless calculations again, right? What is it now? You think we'll surrender to that, dude ball or something? Oh, just look at you. Your weapon safeties are off. You think we're going to F everything up at the last minute with some desperate struggle that'll end up getting us killed? Don't get mad, Mr. Dmitry. Just hear me out. I'm terribly sorry. Andres, why are you just admitting it? After taking the doll's reaction, Dmitry laughs scornfully. Save it. There's no way tin cans like you could possibly comprehend the choices we humans make. Logic isn't everything. Your hard-coded definitions of victory and defeats don't apply to mankind. And besides, do you actually think we let you walking calculators know if we actually wanted to trick you? Don't look down on us humans. It's precisely because humans are so unpredictable that we're so wary of them. What? You expect me to praise you for that? Forget it. Arguing now would be a waste of time. Just take the batteries that you can use. Don't go making excuses later on because you can't blast a hole in that tunnel. But you'll be in great danger. Without their power supply, your suit's protective effects will be greatly reduced. Please, we've been guarding the Great Wall Railway for many years now. We know these things in and out, and definitely better than you. We're both low on firepower, and you're still going to weaken your defenses now? You must be effing insane. Huh? Well, you can blame this effed up ward for that. This time, Dmitry doesn't bother arguing with Kukai. Instead, he decides to roll with what she's saying. You once said that this place used to be part of NSU, with fields and roads and cars. People lived in towns close to the land, under blue skies and surrounded by green as far as the eye can see. Well, we weren't born in those times, and we sure as F didn't see any of that. Only thing left now is desert. Kukai seems confused. She's not sure what he's trying to say. You saw those people in settlements on the way here. All they can do is hide in their crappy little towns, waiting to die of old age, sickness, or from being eaten by wandering elites. That's the yellow zone. That's what life is like. But are things in the green and white zones that much better? The entire effing world is like this. Once, we've lived all over this land, but ever since those effing collapse particles spread everywhere, all we could do was huddle in our shelters without taking a step out. And even though, Dmitry's voice suddenly fills with anger, even though we're all stuck in our holes, there are some brainless, blind efforts out there who love their luxury prison cells and want to stay in them forever. Mongoose security, apparatus, and whatever effing FABN is funding them. We need to do something about those dudes, otherwise we won't be able to live with ourselves. That's right, those dudes need to pay. You know, I once thought that the General Carter was gone, the NSU was gone, and that any point in being soldier was gone with them. But you know what? This purification project crap, though it sounds sketchy as heck, it's actually managing to slowly take back what used to belong to us, to all of mankind. That's what I saw during all my years in the Great Wall Railway forces. So regardless of what I believe or what kind of state the NSU is in, protecting it is my duty as a soldier, heck, as a human effing being. And besides, this is NSU land I'm standing in right now. I once said I'd do anything to protect it, and that hasn't changed one single bit. Dmitry's words fired up the soldiers around him. This crude and brutish sergeant is used to having his actions speak for him. He's berated every man here before, and he's also stood at their head to lead them. Everyone here knows that there is a fire burning in his heart, but they never once knew where his anger came from. Perhaps what drove Dmitry to depression wasn't the destruction of his ideals, being rejected by the people around him, or the things left unsaid with his friends that he would never get to resolve. He was deeply unhappy with this world, and yet he loved it dearly. There was no way someone as passionate as him could sit back and watch the world march into destruction without feeling a thing, and naturally, he hated himself for being too insignificant and too weak to do anything about it. But ever since he joined the armed forces and pledged to protect the Neo-Soviet Union, he has never once put down the gun in his hand or in his heart. His words remind the men of the Soviet Corps of the oath they took once they swore to join the NSU army to help push forward the purification project, but every time things had not turned out like they wanted. But even if things do not turn as they plan, as long as they can do what they can for the sake of their oath, it will serve as the kindling for the flames of hope, the bedrock on which civilization will be rebuilt. This vast land will bear the proof that they have existed. Nobody knows who was the first, but one by one, the troopers straightened up, solemn looks on their faces, before looking toward Dmitry and saluting him. This is not a rational decision. Even without taking Blue Spear's combat power into consideration, the men of the Soviet Corps cannot face Monkey security. The only way you'll accomplish your mission is if 404 stays behind and engages them. Otherwise, you'll just be throwing your lives away. I told you, right? For humans, victory doesn't abide by the definitions you have in your heads. What's winning, you ask? For us, it's making sure that you guys can get that chip out of here. Being able to give those arrogant dudes a good spanking would be a nice bonus. I repeat, according to your plan, the probability of Hide 404 successfully evacuating with the chip, at most, 24%. Meanwhile, the probability of the Soviet Corps perishing is 100%. My calculations aren't wrong. It's not too late to change your plan. What's this? A machine trying to point out the flaws in my logic? Do I look like an idiot to you? I do not understand what you're trying to say. Kukai's tone is a little stiff, but the look in her eye says she isn't going to back down. You don't want to admit it? Alright then, tell me. If 404 stay behind to face the enemy, what's the probability of the Soviet Corps surviving and getting out of this place with the chip? Not even 5%, right? We're going to die if we stay. What does that mean we'll live if we go? These are our lives, and we get to use them in any way we like. So don't worry about pointless crap, you tin cans. And besides, if we let you tin cans handle the fighting, you just run up and bash your heads into those guys, right? What you need now is tactics. You have to be tactical, got it? You will adopt the most ideal strategy. We don't have to worry about that. The most ideal strategy? Those manga guys have a doll too, you know. You think her processing power is that much worse than yours? If you can think of a plan based on whatever data you have, they can do the same. Then you'll lose the initiative, and they'll beat you to the drum. Beat you like a drum. You're relying too heavily on the unpredictability of human beings. The fact is, after Kukai wants to press the point, Dmitry clicks his tongue in annoyance. That's enough of that. If you're a machine, then use your ice-cold logic and do your job. What's the point of, I'm trying to think of a word to censor that. Speaking about all this anyway. And besides, we're your clients. All 404 has to do is follow orders like good little robots. Got that? What the heck do you can't even know? Dimitri's tone is as unyielding as ever, and his expression shows no sign of softening. He quickly rips out the battery from his suit and throws it into the backpack. The remaining troopers follow him without the slightest bit of hesitation. Now all the lights on the Survey Corps protective suits have gone out. I don't understand. If we dolls are destroyed, all we lose is a stretch of our memories. But if a human dies, that's the end for them. That's why humans instinctively preserve their lives as their top priority. But what you've done is the most complete opposite of that. I truly do not understand why you have made this choice. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and edit here. But yeah, next time, I guess we'll see if we're able to finish off this whole thing. But dude, like Dmitry in this video here, in this story so far, or this part of the story, has been very much more different and more respectable, and I do like that a lot. He's way cooler now than before, and I do like that character development. So yeah, that'll be for now, guys. That's game.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good